Hi, everybody. I've always had a pretty sketchy relationship with Labor Day weekends. I don't do transitions particularly well, and Labor Day for me is an all caps pointed transition on the calendar. Hated it when the kids went back to school. So, on each year, on the first Monday of September, I find myself dining on the same strange soup of mixed emotion. It typically bubbles away for a week or two in advance. The base ingredients consist of varying measures of gratitude, grief, anticipation, and anxiety. The proportions of each change from year to year. For most of us, Labor Day 2020 heralds an unprecedented point of spiritual transition as we anticipate experiencing in-person worship for the first time after almost 6 months of being physically apart from one another and physically absent from our church buildings. It's only mid-July as I speak to you today, but that soup is already on a slow simmer. This year's batch contains an abundance of gratitude. I'm so thankful for the ways in which all of you have made it abundantly clear that the church is not closed. The life and work of Christ Church didn't stop during this time of pandemic. In many ways, it has actually grown and expanded. And I am in awe. God has gifted us to engage our discipleship in ways that I would have never thought imaginable. It also contains a goodly portion of grief. I have so missed worshiping in the midst of a physical community. I so miss singing together and praying together and simply being together. I have experienced many moments of what I call leaky eyes while worshiping over these 6 months. Some were tears of joy while taking delight in the abundance of beautiful and spirited online experiences. But they have also been salted with bitter tears that grieve the absence of all those things that I miss so much. This year's recipe also includes a double measure of anticipation. I'm so eager to resume parish visits, to see you and to be with you in your church buildings. I want to smell church. I want to hear that wheezy organ. I want to sink into the welcoming embrace of our sacred spaces and share a collective sigh of thanksgiving with you. I can't wait, and it can't come soon enough. But fear is also a part of this year's Labor Day mix. As confident as I am in the very careful and considered preparations that congregational and synod leaders have made to help us safely come together, I am fearful that our experience of worship might not be all that we might hope it to be. Actually, I know that to be the case. It's going to look and it's going to feel very different. And that scares me a bit. I also know that some of us are anxious and fearful for our physical health and well-being, and as such will be reluctant to gather. And that's okay. Take your time. Our return to church is going to be a process that will unfold over time, and the measures that have been put in place to connect us in worship at a distance over these past months, they will and must continue. Your church will be there for you. Fear not. So that's my Labor Day soup for 2020. I suspect that yours has some similar ingredients, perhaps in different proportions. But thank God for divine seasoning. Regardless of what we've tossed in the pot, we can be assured that the Spirit seasoning will infuse the broth of our experience with rich nourishment, rich flavor, and good taste. Labor Day is coming, brothers and sisters. Let's get ready to tuck in.